What kind of like inspired you to start a gym business, and how did you get into that, and how would someone go about it?
That's a long question. I mean, it's gonna be a long answer. So I never thought I would be opening up a gym. First off, I think business has always been in my forefront. You know, in high school, I was like, okay, I think I want to do a business.
You're good, right?
You know, I don't know. I don't like it. Like my.
I know. That's fucking
All good. Yeah, good.
All right, cool.
Nice.
It works. There. No, it's all right. It's fine.
Nice.
All right, cool.
You look good.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I want to get to know you too, so so we can go back and forth. So, anyways, my teachers were like, yeah, you know, like your type would be good as a business owner. I'm like, oh, okay. And, but right out of high school, I got into firefighting.
Oh, no way.
You know? Yeah. So I did this like spring camp academy. It was like a mock academy for like a week or 2 weeks. It was pretty intense. And then I ended up getting my EMT basic. And then after that, I'm like, man, like, I don't know if I want to see dying babies. You know?
That's not what I want to do.
I don't know if I want to do that, you know? And so I put that on pause, and I went into like education, and I'm like, and I was going into classes. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to be a babysitter. And then I just didn't know what to do, man. I was a little lost. And then I took one more class, and it was a business 101 class, and it was a 4-week course. So it was pretty intense, you know, and we had to come up with the business and do all this, and I'm like, yo, I can do this.
Let's go.
And that's the last class I ever took.
How old are you?
18, 19.
Oh, no way.
No, 20 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that's still in that area.
In that area, you know. So I mean, I didn't start with the gym. So I started with the T-shirt. You know, T-shirt company. It was you know, it was 2012. You know, and you know how December 12th, 2012 was going to be the end of the world.
Oh yeah, it was like
right?
12 or whatever.
And so I made a shirt saying, I'm like, oh, well, if we survive, I'm going to make an I Survive 2012 shirt. You know, with the Mayan calendar and everything like that. And so I sold a few of those. And then I ended up printing shirts. I ended up making screens for screen printers, and all of a sudden, my buddy invited me to a network marketing company. Mm-hmm. Do you know network marketing? Yeah. It was Vima.
Oh, okay.
And have you heard of Vima?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Man, I loved it, actually. 2 years I spent my life doing that. I was like a team leader, and I was developing people.
Bro, that's a great educate. That's better than any college. Really?
Honestly, it was probably the best thing for me.
Yeah, direct sales is fucking. I came from it, but I had a stint in direct sales, and that kind of shaped a big part of Pathfinder.
There you go.
So it's magic.
It is, you know, because like we did presentations, and like I learned public speaking, and you know, it was like selling a dream. You know, I was like, this isn't gonna be the end all be all, but this is a vehicle that can get you to where you want to go.
100%.
You know, I was like, you know, I mean. I was somewhat bashing college because it's like at that time I'm like, I don't think you need college to be successful. You know, if you want to be a doctor, cool. If you want to be a lawyer, you know, there's certain things that you need college for. But I was like, honestly, it's like, what is your passion? Like, what is your drive? And let's find that, and let's hone into that, and then let's make that the driver. You know, man, I was digesting personal development books like crazy.
Bro, I love reading. I mean, there's books all over the place, but.
Nice. Tony Robbins, okay.
Love that one.
All right.
Every book here is like I grabbed that were my favorite.
Okay.
And I just brought them here, and I'm still like kind of salty. I miss them in my home library.
Yeah. The 48 Laws of Power. I used to fall asleep to that.
I love that book.
Yeah.
I love just Robert Greene in general. He's becoming one of my favorite authors.
Yeah, it was intense. You know, like when I first read it, I'm like, this is
fucked up.
Yeah, it was, you know, because I think I looked at it at a wrong light. But I'm like, you know what? Just with anything, it's like you could take something powerful and turn it for bad, or something powerful and turn it to good.
100%.
You know, so it's like it's just how people are and how people work. You know?
Right.
So man, back to the thing, I was digesting personal development like crazy, just like you know. I was making YouTube videos of like just like motivational video. I mean, if you look at my YouTube, it's kind of like cringe, bro.
Yeah, but that's all right.
You know?
Mine is too in the beginning.
It is cringe because I was just like, yeah, fired up, blah, blah, you know. then business wasn't doing so good, you know. The company was like in a weird spot, and I'm like, I think I need to get a job, but I haven't got a job in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I went back to the workforce, but I got a job as at GNC.
Oh, okay.
And I worked my way up to a store manager. I saved the store. It was great, you know, it was a good time. But then I started, at that time, my girlfriend, but now my wife, she actually left me because I wasn't treating her right. Because I wasn't treating myself right. So I was overweight, and I wasn't in the right mind. Even though I had all this knowledge, I just wasn't in my physical, you know? And so I started getting in shape. I was like, you know what? I want a model wife. So I need to be a model.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what got me into the fitness industry. And, you know, I got a really good transformation, got a six-pack, yeah. I ended up getting a fitness model. Bad idea. Crazy, bro. But hopefully she's not watching this. Hope you're doing well.
Wish you all the best, bro.
Oh man, I wish everyone the best, honestly.
Yeah.
And she was, you know, she actually catapulted me into like what I wanted, and like from that relationship, it actually made me realize the girl that I've been dating this whole time, like off and on. I was like, man, that's like, you know what, like. It's like she's the only one that's been supporting me this whole time.
Yeah.
She's had my back. You know, if I would have came home like, y'all want to do this, she'd be like, okay. She's just such a great supporter. She's not my wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I'm grateful for that relationship because it led me back to my wife now.
Nice.
But let's rewind to the story. So GNC, you know, into the fitness industry. And I ended up getting people to ask me like, hey, like, what'd you do for nutrition? Like, can you help me? I started inviting them to my workouts, and then little by little, I ended up becoming a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being a personal trainer at City Athletic. I don't know if you remember that place. City Athletic on Sahara and Rainbow.
Oh, okay.
It used to be a 24-hour.
Yeah.
It's a Sky Ninja now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was a personal trainer there, and to be honest with you, my buddy, I was like, man, I don't got a cert. He's like, man, you don't got a cert. I know that you know your stuff. You don't need a cert. And I'm like, okay. And so, you know, I started with no cert. You know, it was just experience. And I started, you know, training people because at the end of the day, I truly just wanted to help people. You know, I think that's it. And the reason I got into personal training was like, man, it's like I understood that like in this life, like to be able to be fulfilled, you need to give back.
Right. Dude,
And
it's like the secret to the universe.
Yeah. So it's like, I knew that. So I'm like, man, I really, truly think I can give back in this way.
Yeah.
You know, like I love this and it comes easy to me. And so it's like, let's just do this.
Yeah.
And so I was in there for about 6 to 8 months. And I'm like, man, like I was seeing so many problems at the gym. The gym was, I love the gym. I don't want to talk about any gym. I just saw problems in the gym and about like everything was so secluded. So like there's a business here, business here, business here, business. Everything was so separated. And you just didn't know what you could do, or, you know? So I mean, you know what? Like I want a space, and I want to build a space where like you walk in and everything's included, one price. And you know, it's more community, you know? I felt like everything's so secluded, you know? So that was it, man. There was Rogue racks in the CrossFit area. I'm like, man, these racks look nice. I started looking into Rogue, and I'm like, you know what, I'm doing it. So I had to sit down with the owner. I'm like, hey man, like I wanna do my own thing.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. And he's like, you see all these trainers in here? They once wanted to do their own thing too, but now they're here. Do you still want to go? I'm like, yes, for sure. Like he was
100%.
He was trying to like, you know, intimidate me. I'm like, yo, this is cool. Like I knew like I was doing something right because he said that. I'm like, yeah, no, I definitely want to go now.
Now I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, for sure. So man, that lit me up. That literally lit me up. And so I started training clients in the park, and I was trying to get my equipment. And I maxed out a credit card. It was only $3,500 credit limit.
Yeah.
So maxed it out, and I'm like, yo, I'll put $600 instead of rent into my credit card. And so I put $600 into my credit card, paid it off, and then I did that about 3 or 4 times. And I built a 2-car garage gym. But in that gym, I had
at your house?
At my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was that. Those were the days, man. I mean, I would wake up, and my clients would be there, and I just have to get ready, and like, boom, done.
Yeah.
But I had about 3 or 4 coaches in there already.
No way,
training.
in your house gym?
Yeah.
Dude, hustling.
Right?
Yeah.
It was cool, you know. And I didn't charge them. It was just more of like, I've always been led by people first, profits later, you know.
Yeah.
And I would go. I would still have to go to work. So I think at that time I was a front desk at Caesars.
Oh, no way.
So I would have to leave. I have a 7 p to 3 a shift.
Oh shoot.
And so I would go and I would leave and they would still be working out in my gym. So it was kind of cool,
That's
you know.
dope.
But then I got HOA notice.
This fucking
Yeah.
HOA. Dude.
And they took me down, bro. And so I had to transfer to a storage unit.
Dude, savage. I fucking love that.
Yeah, I had to go to a storage unit, and I had to get people the code to the storage unit to come in. And I talked to the storage unit. Hey man, like I have a gym. I'm not gonna be here for long. I just need a little space to have my gym here. So I had it at a storage unit, and people came and worked out and used the gym. And
That's fucking sick.
I'm like,
dude.
I need a facility, you know.
Yeah.
And so so I started my home gym February 2016, and I ended up in my first location, brick and mortar. I got the lease on July 2017. We did a soft opening November, and then we did a grand opening December 2017.
Go.
Yeah, and it was just a little strip, bro. It was just a little strip, and I mean, if you look at it now, it's like it's 3 times the size. But it started with just that strip, and then in 2 years we expanded it to it was like triple the size.
In that same location, but just like next unit.
Next unit. And doing that jump was scary because like it was like, okay, so we went from 2,000 square feet to 6,000 square feet.
Oh shit, yeah, it's a big jump.
You know, so it was, I'm like, can we do this, you know? But,
Yeah.
you know, I always had faith, honestly. I always had faith. I'm like, you know, we got this. Like, because it's like people just, they love the mission, you know?
Yeah.
They love the mission. They love the environment. And, yeah, that's it, man.
Let's fucking go, bro. Resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Is fucking key, dude. I think people get hung up on a lot of bullshit, and then, like I love that part of your story. And like, there's a way. There's always a way. And faith, that's like a big thing. Faith is like, it's not like praying or like saying things. It's like just knowing that the next step will unfold and like reveal itself, and just knowing that you're doing everything you can, and you know you're hoping there's fucking ground or the next step, and then it like comes through, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
The next step was there.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I mean, it's so faith wasn't like that, but it actually became that for me.
Yeah.
You know, and so it did become like, yo, like God's got me this whole time.
Well, bro, it's
know?
because you need to like see it. Like, I mean, now I'm sure, like me too. It's not like the first chapter of my story, but once you've like seen it in action enough time, you're like, it's gonna fucking work out no matter what, you know. And even if it doesn't work out, that somehow there's like a fucking seed of greater or equal value in there that you know that'll benefit from me in one way or another. That's fucking amazing, though, bro. I love that. So, what advice would you have if someone's trying to open their own gym?
Oh, okay. Well,
don't be a pussy. Just fucking do it. There's a storage somewhere.
Do it. I would say start small. You know, and start small. Honestly, start small. Like my 2-car garage, start there. You know, and see if you want to take the next step. You know, because it's like I wouldn't recommend someone like buying $100,000 worth of equipment,
right? Getting
into a lease for 6 years,
right?
You know, you're now a personal guarantor for that kind of money,
right?
Let's say the rent is $10,000 by 6 years. That's what you're on the hook for,
right.
Think about it.
Right.
You know, I would say start small with credit cards. You know, but like don't take the loan shark money. I've done it. I just barely got out.
Really.
Yeah, man. Those seriously, do not take the cash advance working capital loans.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
Fucking blowing me up all the time,
dude.
Like, there's no way.
No, bro. And at that time I needed it.
Yeah.
And then, but 20 became 30, became 45, became 60.
Off that principle, or
so
it was
because
like more and more.
Like so, I started with 20, right? And then it's their weekly payments.
Yeah.
And then you want to get a bigger loan to pay off that 20.
Yeah.
So then you keep some cash.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, cool. And then you get to 30, and then let's say 2 months later or whatever, you're like, man, I need to get a bigger loan to pay off the 30 and still keep some cash.
Oh shit.
And it just keeps building
no
and building
way,
and
that's
building.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it's a vicious cycle because it's like, because you only get to, so my last loan, and I'll share this because it's important for you guys to know, do not do this. My last one was $60,000 to pay off $45,000. So I kept, whatever, 15 from that. Was it? Yeah, 15?
Yeah.
Something like that. 15. Cool. Kept 15. But then I had an $1,850 weekly payment.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It's not going to last, bro.
Yeah.
It's not going to last. Especially with like and plus they base it off of revenue. I think it's like 26% of your revenue. So it's like, let's say you have a high
overhead?
High overhead, sorry. High overhead, then you're screwed, bro.
Yeah.
You're screwed. So it's like, so fortunately, like I found a lender to lend me, let's say the remaining of it, like $50,000, so I can pay them off at like a way lower interest rate. At a 15% interest rate rather than a 26% based off of revenue interest rate.
Yeah.
So this is insane. So
yeah, that's nuts.
But as a business, rolling debt is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, just know that debt is going to be a thing as a business owner, especially like, look at all this equipment, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it'll be great if you can purchase it straight up.
Actually, I am straight up. I don't have any debt.
Good for you.
But I had my first business was a mechanic shop in 2013.
Oh, really?
And I took one of those loan shark debts. It was
really?
like 20 grand. Yeah. And then it was weekly, and I went bankrupt with the business. I was fucking like, it was 2013. So I was 23. I didn't know shit about shit. Right.
Wow.
And then, went bankrupt, lost everything. I had to, start over. But so that, like, I learned that lesson. Like, I had to pay the tuition.
So you only took one?
I only took one, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't make it. That business only like survived like a year.
A mechanic. So
yeah,
you were a mechanic.
No, so the way that business came about was I got fired from the Win. Like I was a baker, and I was a baker from like 18 to like last time I had that type of job I was 28. So like 8 years, or 10, 20, yeah, like 10 years, my bad. So I was a baker, I got fired, and then my dad was a mechanic for a carpet cleaning business, and like when you're like W-2, they take taxes or whatever. And I was like, why don't we open up our own shop? We'll keep him as your current job as like our first vendor. They won't have to pay payroll tax, whatever, and we'll fucking we'll get a little bit more. It'll be like $4,000 our first account, and then we'll just keep rolling it up. And it was like cool, and it kind of worked. My dad was the mechanic, but my dad was super shot out. He was like always drinking all the time, like doing fucking drugs and shit. And I was like kind of like naive to it. I didn't really know until that fucking point in time when it started happening, and I was like involved in the business or whatever. And then also being naive, I had no idea. I was buying all kinds of stupid shit that we didn't need, like oh, well, let's buy tools and fucking cool uniforms and all kinds of shit, just fucking off the cash flow, like thinking that that's what I need. Taking out loans for everything, like oh yeah, I'll get a loan from Office Max or a credit fucking line for a desk and all kinds of bullshit, and then it just like didn't work out, But it was a great lesson. I learned a lot from that first business. So that's
how you learn. Honestly, you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your wins.
Yeah, dude. And that was my first failure. My second failure in business was so I had a music studio, and then I was selling a lot of weed at the time. It was like before it was legal, like right before, like 2016. And it just like I worked at a restaurant, and I had the music studio, and it was kind of working. And then I like started selling weed to everyone in the restaurant, and then I got fired from there because that's when 2016 is when I started the video company. So I was getting so busy, I was like calling out work a lot to like take like gigs. It just made more sense. I was like, I can make $500 in a day, or like here at $20 an hour, it's like $160 after taxes or something. So I started calling off a lot, and then I had points, and so they finally fired me. I was like, fuck it, I'll just keep selling weed. And then the weed thing like took off. Like I was selling like a half pound of weed a day, plus all the accessories like cartridges, batteries, like all kinds of shit. And then I was a baker, so then I started like making a ton of edibles, and there was like huge margins in that, and so I started selling it to like other delivery services. So it was booming. At that, I was 26 at that time. I was like, fuck, we made it, bro. I'm rich now. I fucking cracked the code. And then the DEA raided my studio, like freaking had a warrant, everything, like came through. We're like, we know you're a kingpin drug operator. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, no way, you got the wrong guy. And then they came and raided everything, and it was funny. Like, they didn't find shit, bro. I used to keep all like my weed in like guitar bags. Like, I don't know, it was not like a slick hiding spot or anything, but I had them in the guitar racks, and they didn't even fucking find any of the shit. All they got was like the edibles out of the fridge. But anyways, I ended up like going to jail for like 30 days or something, like 26 days, and they're like, "Do you know anyone with guns?" I was like, "No, I fucking sell weed. Like, I don't even know anyone with real drugs." Like, so that was fucked up.
Wow.
So that was a massive failure. Yeah, here in Vegas. That was a huge I felt like a bigger failure because I even like had to amass some level of like financial success and like status, and then just had to be like totally humbled and like destroyed, and then went back to baking at the Cosmo. I met my wife, and then I was still doing side video gigs like here and there everywhere, and she's like, "You need to quit, dude, and just like do this full time." And I was like super scared. Quit, and then I did that. It was like really slow, and then I got into the solar industry, direct sales, doing door-to-door sales, and that kind of like I took everything I learned there and applied it to the media company, and then it just blew up like after that. And this was like 2020 by this point, so it took me like 2013 to like 2020 to ever like see any type of success in business after like trying anything that's sustainable, I guess. And then ever since then, it's been a blessing, you know. That's just amazing. Maintaining the team and growing.
I love that.
So adversity is the key to success, I think. I mean, I don't know.
Bro, the DEA raided you. That's crazy.
Raided me, bro. Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, I got locked up. It was So
how did you ever ask her, like, how did you find out?
Back in those days, you would be able to advertise on like Where's Weed or Weed Maps. You could literally just pay like $500, credit card information, and they would just push your shit out. Like delivery service. You didn't need like to prove license or tax or nothing.
Weed Maps, I remember that.
Dude, Weed Maps was legit, bro. And then it would be all people from the strip, like out of towners. So you could charge like premium, bro. Like for an eighth, you'd like charge $100, and they'd be like fucking just. Bro, it was nuts. Yeah, so it was like just working, and I was stoked at the time, but it was like, then when they finally did, like when I started get like the attorney and everything involved, and they're like, dude, the real thing is like we're not paying taxes. Like you think you could fucking not pay taxes? I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, you know, so the really it's Uncle Sam that fucking sent the troops out. And so yes, they found me through Where's Weed or Weed Maps or whatever, and then that's how they like started tracking me.
Did they garnish any finances, or did you end up having to pay, or like?
By the time like when I had like, I remember I had like 20 grand saved up at the time, and like I had a lot of money. All my money was in the inventory, so I had like probably another 20 in inventory, like just weed and shit. And then so I had 20 grand saved up. I paid it all to a lawyer. Like, I just fucking gave it all away. I was like, fuck it, take all of it, just keep me out of jail. Yeah. Literally the fucking next day, they're like, all right, yeah, we gotta go to court. You got like arrest warrants. Fucking lock me up. I get in there like, I was like, fuck, this is not what I paid all this money for. And then they had a hold on me, so like I couldn't even get bailed out. I felt like I got fucking raped. I was like, they took all my money. They took all, like, I couldn't even get out. It was totally fucked. So I was like, and then they didn't give me like a time, like a date. So I'm in there like fucking feel like I'm in the abyss. I'm like, fuck, I'm here for a life. Like, this is fucked up. Yeah, it was terrible. It was like the scariest thing I ever went through.
Okay, so can we talk about that? Like, how was that time in jail, and like, what were your thoughts and what were you thinking about, and how did you make it?
Oh, dude, it was fucking terrible. That place is designed to like break you as a human, you know? So like, there's no food, and I just felt so ashamed. Like, I didn't ask my mom for like money for commissary for like real food or anything. I was just like, I'm gonna fucking thug it out. Fuck this, like, you know? So like, what did I do? I just slept a lot. Like, I fucking just slept. And I just felt like, how the fuck did I end up here? Like, you know, I was like, I must have fucked up. Like, I was like, but then I like just was in such like deep depression, like just like wallow, like, dude, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't like hurt anybody. I didn't steal. Yeah. I was just like fucking trying to make a living. And then so I started reading books, and then there was like real gangsters in there that could like see I was like just fucking like lost in the depths of the like the abyss. And they would come up to me like, yo, fool, like, hey, don't let this shit get you down, bro. I'm on my third strike, bro. I just stabbed someone. I'm not getting out. I'm like, fuck, bro. He's like trying to cheer me up and shit. Like, he's like, do some push-ups and shit, bro. And I was like, fuck it, all right. So I started working out with like the gangsters and shit. But like, there's no food or substance, you know? It's all like fucking mush. So I'm like eating mush, like fucking starving, doing push-ups. I lost like 20 pounds. And I'm already fucking skinny. I don't have 20 pounds to lose, you know? So finally, like, they let me out on house arrest, and fucking I got out, and I was just like fucking
45 days? 30 days?
No, it was like 26 days or something.
That you were in there.
That was locked in there.
But you had no idea how many days you were going to be
Yeah,
there.
I would know.
So it was like eternity for you.
Yeah, it felt like a life sentence, you know? So I was fucking, when I got out, I was like, I had 150 hours of community service, like, I forgot, it was just like a month or two of house arrest.
Okay.
And then stay out of trouble for a year. So like, if I would have gotten in trouble within that year, I would have had to go back to fulfill like the year sentence or whatever.
Wow.
So I was so paranoid after that, dude. I was like, I would not leave the house. I felt like raped, like how a rape victim would feel. Like totally just fucking took everything from you and like abused all your rights, like, you know. So it took me a long time to build up my confidence after that, like in business and anything. Like I wouldn't, like I said, I would not fucking leave the house. I would just stay home, watch Netflix, and then somehow by the fucking grace of God, I met my wife. And that time, like, it was like right when I finished, like, beat my case, it was all done. I like met my wife like a few days after that.
Amazing.
And it was just like next chapter, and it was dope. And it's, you know, it's part of the story, dude. I think it's part of just being brave. And like, I think one of the biggest fucking things that I'm learning now is to eradicate fear, like false evidence appearing real. Like fear is like, it's just taking up real estate in your mind for no reason. It's not even real, like, you know what I mean? So when you place fear on something, it's like, usually it's because you're afraid something that hasn't even happened has happened. So that's been like one of my big things like this year is trying to just totally like, if I feel any sense of fear or worry, I'm like, fuck it. Hey, let it fall apart. I don't give a fuck. We'll see how it works out. And it never does. So, you know, I'm just like fucking blessing. So,
that's it.
I don't know, man.
Fear, I don't know where I got this from, but I take it as face everything and rise.
Let's fucking go.
You know?
I love that.
And have you read Grant Cardone 10X?
No, I haven't.
So that book, bro, like it was like, man, if you're scared, do it. And if it's like, if you want success, you got to 10X everything. So it's like everything I was doing, I was like 10Xing, you know, I had to 10X everything, you know, but it was cool. It's like, it's a good, like, it's not like motivation, but it's just like, just put in the work.
Yeah.
Just put in the work, you know, whatever you think whatever you think energy you have to put in 10X.
Double it. Yeah. And you'll it'll work out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Do you still read a lot? Like, are you still like avid in self-development?
So I'm like what I said before, like it was a lot of personal development and a lot of faith, like let's say in myself, but I'm actually reading now the Bible. That is my self-development now.
Let's fucking go.
And I found, like, man, I was going through like a lot of man, what is truth? And I was like, you know, I was going into these crazy mind holes and conspiracy theories, and like, you know, I was going into like Middle Earth, and like, dude, there's aliens in the middle of the earth, and then there's just like, bro, all this, bro. I was going deep, and I was like, man, what is it? What is the truth? You know, is the earth flat? And like, bro, everything, man. And you know, I don't know. I just found the Bible one day, and I just started reading it. I'm just like, yo, like, this is it. Like, this is it, and this is truth. And like, I haven't put it down since. You know. Are
you like what do you, like religion do you identify with?
So I would say Christian. Yeah. You know, because the Bible is basically just the story of Jesus. Yeah. You know, that's it, man. So there's the world creation in the beginning to how the world's gonna end at the end. You know, it's like it's all
everything in between.
It's all in there, you know, and it's like, but it's all at the end of the day. It's like it's faith. You know, that's literally what it is. It's like faith that, you know, he's got you, faith that he loves you, faith that, you know, like he came and actually died for us, and like, and we deserve hell, bro. We deserve hell. But because of his grace, we're not, you know, as long as we believe in him. Yeah.
So my family's, my wife and her side of the family is like Jewish. Okay. And so we're kind of like, we're just like choosing to raise our daughter Jewish and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the same, it's like the first part of the Christian Bible, the Torah, like the first,
that's it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like we have a Torah at the house, and I read a lot, bro. Like, I read everything that I feel is credible. Yeah. I mean, but it's hard to, like you're saying, what's truth? Like, anyone could have an opinion. And I think all, like, self-development even starts with the Bible. So I've been meaning to, like, start reading the Bible just, like, to see what the hype's about. Yeah. You know, and to see, like, what's in it.
You know what's funny? I had a feeling. I brought you a New Testament.
No fucking way! New Testament? Yeah. Let's fucking go.
So, I don't know why, but I was like, God told me to put that in my pocket today.
Let's fucking go, bro. I really appreciate that. I'm very grateful for this.
You're welcome. So now you have the Old Testament and now the New Testament.
That's wild, bro. That is so insane.
I'm getting just chills just thinking about it. Yeah,
wow,
bro.
that is nuts that we captured this moment on camera, bro. I'll have to.
That's it, man. It's like, and so a lot of people are like, they're so anti opening the Bible. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like you open up every other book.
Yeah.
Why don't you open up this one?
Yeah.
And like check it out.
Yeah.
Read it, see what it is and whatever. But and that's the thing. Like Jewish people are and were the chosen people. Mm-hmm. So and there is Messianic Jews out there.
Yeah.
That believe they're like, okay, like they're raised in Jewish culture, mm-hmm. but they realized, like, oh man, like we killed the Messiah.
Yeah.
And then they accept that, and now so they still keep with their Jewish traditions, but they believe that Jesus was the Messiah.
Yeah. So I think I think Jesus was an incredible human being that walked the earth. You know what I mean? And I think that, so this is where I think maybe I lose connection with some like Christians, is I think that everyone has the internal power to be Jesus or be Christ-like or be the Christ if you did what Jesus did. Like, you know what I mean? If you lived and literally walked his exact footprints and meditated the way he did and did the exact steps, it's almost hard or impossible to do it in today's modern age because so many distractions. There's no really space. But I think that everyone holds the same power as Jesus to create miracles within our, our own space. And I think that like there's a book called I forget what it's called. It's like something I Am the Christ or something. And it was a really dope like channeling. Like I don't know if you're familiar with that, like Ask and It Is Given, or like just books that are like channeled. And it's kind of channeled from like the Christ perspective, I guess. Yeah. And again, it's like, who is the truth, right? Like, who's saying? But when they say valid shit, it's like, this is kind of fucking valid. And that's kind of what I took away, is that everyone has the Christ within them, the vibrational resonance that is within all of us, that like kind of is the ultimate good, right? So that's, I don't know. And I think a lot of people, like, I have a really open perspective on God and the idea of God and what God is. And I think like just some like Christian promulgators that are just like, no, this is fucking only way. Like, I think that everything's open to interpretation. It's kind of words.
It is. And let's conversate about that. So there's multiple verses that came to my mind. So it's like there's a verse in like think Matthew 7 or Matthew 24. It says he said that there will be many people that will be coming to me saying, Lord, 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 haven't I prophesied in your name? Haven't I casted out demons in your name? Haven't I done good deeds in your name? Mm-hmm. And he says, go away from me. I have never knew you. So it's like, so what does that mean? That means that like he's not here. Like, we're not here to like say like, oh yeah, Jesus was cool. I believe in Jesus, but demons believe in Jesus. Demons were like, yo, like, what are you doing here? Like what are you about to like eradicate me right now? Like, it's not time for judgment yet. Yeah. And they're like, well, send me to those pigs, and he sends them to the pigs, and the pigs end up dying. But like even the demons know Jesus, so it's like, for him, it's the relationship that we build with him. So it's like, it's coming to him for things and like and acknowledging that he is, the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. And then there was another verse that came to my mind was and forgive me, Christians, for not knowing this, but he does say, and this is where it kind of got me. So like that verse that I just told you, it scared me, because I'm like, it doesn't matter if I even do miracles in his name. He doesn't care about that.
Right.
Like he cares about the relationship. But another one that got me, he's like, the only way to the Father is through me. I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. And that's very definitive.
Right.
So it's like, I had to ponder on that for a long time. I'm like, it's like, is this it? Like, is he, like, he is literally very definitive,
And this is in the New Testament, in Jesus?
Yeah, he said that. And so Matthew's really good. I like Matthew. I started with John. But there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are the 4 Gospels, and there are 4 perspectives on the life of Jesus.
The same like time frame?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Matthew and John actually lived and was among Jesus. Mark was Mark and Luke were outside perspectives, but they were almost like interviewers. Like they would go and like interview people that were living with him. So it gives you different, but like
that's dope. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's the thing is like I'm open to always reading. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm huge on reading, and so I want to read all of them. Like, you know what I mean? I want to read the Bible, the New Testament, the Quran, the like Kabbalion, like all of them. Like, you know, to see what the perspective on like what every culture believes. Because really, there's probably truth in all of them, right? There's probably
yes.
Yeah, you're reluctant on that one.
Well, it's so there in my opinion there can only be one truth,
right?
You know, and there can only be one truth because it's black or white, you know, and that's what I believe, you know, it's black or white, and the Quran I believe has been so. Abraham was you know Abraham? So Abraham was the Jew of Jews, right? He's like our father of faith, right? And from him. God told him through his line, I'm going to bless your people, right? But he got impatient, or his wife got impatient, and his wife told him to sleep with her servant, and her servant was Arabic, right, or Egyptian, and so he ended up sleeping with her to get a son, and
oh, that's where the story. Wow, I didn't know that deep.
And so God does say, like, I will bless this son, but it is not the line that I'm choosing, basically. And he's like, he will have many nations under his name, but he will also be fighting other nations all his life, which is the Muslims.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
I have an interesting perspective on that too. It's like, so my wife's family, they're like Orthodox, so they're very like strong in like the Jewish traditions. And we actually, so after we talk about this, we have a like Jewish candle business, like an e-commerce business.
Nice.
Does pretty well. So like, just like ritual candles and stuff like that. But anyways, so I forgot where I was reading this, and it talked about like something about the Arab, the Muslims. Dang, I don't want to like misword this because it's very like controversial or whatever, but how like dangerous it is because it's almost like they're rooted in hatred. Like, so like they hate everything, and the reason why they're so dangerous is because they're infiltrated in they're not like, they don't have a hub like Israel or like, you know, a place where they're infiltrated in every single culture, and whenever like, if they do rise to full power, they'll be able to like infiltrate everything all around, and it'll be coming from like the hatred and be very destructive. And so like, it's kind of interesting that like, you know, Jewish people feel a way about it and are very like adamant about where they draw the line. And so I thought it was interesting. I like, we talked about it at one point in Bible study and with them, and he was like, well, that's why, you know, he had his Jewish perspective of it. No, so it's kind of interesting that it goes back all the way. But like, I think really, right, like really, 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 if we transcend everything and all like beliefs, like we are all like creatures of God, right? Like, doesn't matter what side, where, like deep to the core, like we all came from God, and we all have like a perspective and something we believe in and stand behind. But like, if you peel back all the layers, like we're all the same. You know what I mean? We are like just the incarnation of man, trying to love one another, trying to love our family. Like, you know, a Muslim guy and a Jewish guy, they love their family the same. Like, you know what I mean? And like that love and that core is still the same. So I think that we have to remember that amongst like modern society, it's like to like not conflict and like not to like fight, because it doesn't matter. Like, yes, maybe something's wrong, maybe there's not truth, maybe they believe in something else, but like we gotta like just, I think the antidote is love. Like if you really just love and accept them for believing their beliefs and operating the way they operate, it's like, you know what I mean? It's not gonna hurt anybody if you love them. I mean, I'm not saying fucking like, if they have a knife and they're coming to stab you, like, don't be like, you know, weary of it, but you should love them from their perspective. Like maybe you would be doing the same thing.
You're on the right track. That's literally what he says. So his last commandment says, love love the Father with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor. And so it's like, those are the two things that he left with us of his commandments is to do that. So even if it even says like to love your enemies and love and bless your enemies.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so that was actually hard for me, because it's like for me, I used to say like, if you screw me, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I felt to my core.
Yeah.
And just recently, it's like, no, it's like that's not Christ-like. It's like you have to love and love always. Even if they screw you, you still love them.
Yeah.
And that's what we're made to do. We're made to love, and love is God.
Yeah, dude, and to transcend it. And then the irony is like if you do, I mean, and like this is maybe not biblical or whatever, but like if you live in the vibration of like the hatred or like the revenge, it's only giving you vibrational alignment to attract more of that into your life. Like, so it's dangerous to like have hate towards someone because then it's going to attract hatred in your reality. Like, so like my wife, like just stuff like that, silly stuff. Yeah, same thing, like screwed over, whatever, right? And you're like, fuck, I could end this fucking guy. Like, I will smother him, like, with all of my power, like, But then you're like, fuck, dude, no way. Like, fuck, like, whatever. Just let him have it. Or, like, just like, I don't remember what the situation was. I think, like, they stole a client or something, and I was just like, dude, they probably need it more.
They probably need it,
like, fuck it. Like, you can have it. I have an abundance. Like, I've built like a big platform. Like I'll be all right.
Well, that's it, bro. It's the abundance mindset. It's like I feel like I can't work, and I can only love them of people who work in the opposite of the with the scarcity mindset.
Right.
It's like you can't build a business across from me because you're gonna take away my business, bro. We live in a city of multi-million people.
Yeah, the supply.
Calm down, bro. And especially if it's online, it's like, man, billions. It's like, calm down. There is room for success for everyone.
Dude, the supply is infinite. The supply, like, it's literally God's will to be like abundant, to be infinite. Like, think about it. If you think about it from the simplest form, like you take an apple, right? You fucking eat the apple. You put it in the ground. Then there'll be a tree, and then the tree fucking sheds hundreds of apples with hundreds of seeds. If you plant all those, like, everything is prolific. Yes. Like, everything. And I think it's part of our duty to become prolific, to just build leaders, to lead leaders, to, like, keep expanding your everything, And that's why I was really excited to connect with you, because it's like you're a leader within your community. And I think that, like, by compounding and sharing, energy and expanding on, like, you on my platform, me on your platform, it's like you just lead more of the community with a positive message, And I think that overall, I know you asked, like, to, like, build the network, but I think everything I always do is positive. So, like, by expanding the network, it's just, like, a positive note that'll reach further. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, everything we're saying, I don't think is going to harm anybody, It might help somebody. We don't even fucking know,
exactly.
So, like, I think that's the greater purpose, is to really just do good and be good and expand on that.
That's it, man. I want to say one more thing about what you said, and then we can wrap.
I mean, we're good. Yeah. I don't have anything to do for a while.
So, awesome. I got my kids. You got any kids?
Yeah, I have one daughter. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
3 kids, dude. You're a savage.
Yeah, I want more.
I want more. My wife's not having it.
No, just one and done.
I mean, we'll see.
So how old is she?
She's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
How old are your kids?
5, 3, and 12 weeks.
Oh, dude, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the beginning, too, with the new baby.
Yeah. It's amazing. Man, kids, honest, I truly believe that one, kids are a blessing from God. 2, they're here to teach us more than we are, to them, almost, in a sense.
Isn't it crazy that they're closer to the source than we are? Like, they're, like, fresh from God, if you want to say it that way. Like, so you have to be wise enough to accept, like, their message, because they're, like, closer to God than we are, like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're on your way out, like grandparents or something.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. It's just I'm just thinking. Like I've actually had a lot of revelations this last week, to be honest with you, with all this. But like, as a father, right? Mm-hmm. And like I just came back from this like men's retreat with my church, and what basically came out was that like broken men come from broken fathers, and even if we're doing okay, like there's still some sort of like trauma, I guess you would say, that we have planted in ourselves, and that plant has outgrown or has grown root, and now like as a man, like sometimes we'll deal with anger that we don't know where it's coming from, depression where it doesn't, anxiety where it doesn't come from. We're like, where is this coming from? But it's like if we dig down, it's like it's that little seed, that little trauma that you planted inside that has now uprooted into something that you just don't want, right? So it's like, so this retreat was a lot about like getting down to that root and cutting it and like eradicating it, and like the thing was that's most important is the forgiveness, that our fathers are always going to fall short because we fall short. We're human. We're not perfect, and so we put our fathers on such a high pedestal that like when they fall, it's like, man, it's like it's everything, So it's like, but so what I've realized to bring kind of Christ back into this is that like how God views us, from sky above, right? Is that, let's say Christ is a lens, right? And if we accept Christ, God looks at us through the lens of Christ into us, and which makes us perfect. If we don't have Christ, He looks at us as filth, as just bad, right? So, but right when you put that lens, like I believe in Christ, He looks at us, He deems us perfect, and then that's also in the Bible. But children, this is where it got me. Children will look up to us, and if we don't have Christ, the ceiling stops there, right? So it's like when they look up to their father, like to us, and then we don't have Christ, it's like, man, it's like our leader is falling, our leader is failed, our leader's a failure. But if we have Christ in us, our children look. And if we have Christ in us, it goes through us and up to the Father, and the Father is the only true, perfect Father, and like he, that's it, So it's like, it's that polarity that is happening, That's what like kind of like got me, like, man, like I don't want to be a broken father, and like I was fine the whole retreat, but like I started breaking down when I was like, man, like my kids like depend on me and like all this, but it's like, man, it's like when my pastor was like, yo, you just got to love them and love them well. And like making sure that like, that you're pointing them to the perfect father in a sense, because you're going to fall short. You're always going to fall short. So.
Do you, are you like, is your life set up to where like you're able to spend like more time with your kids than the average person, or do you like work a lot, or like how do you balance
So
that?
I was working a lot, but I work 4 days a week and I'm off 3. So I think it's a good balance right now. I was working 6-7 days, but I read this quote from C.S. Lewis, bro. It got me real good, bro. It was like, children are not a distraction from the important work. They are the important work. It's like, like I was like,
I know.
It's just so tough because like it's like, man, I gotta provide. I gotta get this money. Don't worry. They're only young. They won't remember that I wasn't there, bro.
I know, dude. Bro. It's such a fucking hard. Like even last night, I felt terrible. So like. And this goes to faith, like, so this, like, again, podcast studio, whatever, I have the bookings open, so I just want it to pay for itself, like, and so up until, like, 2 days ago, it's only made, like, $200 or $300, and I was like, fuck, dude, I'm going to be pissed if I have to pay the rent for this fucking place. And then I had a booking yesterday for, it was, like, 3-day booking, it was, like, $2,000 or something. I was like, fuck, nice. Hell yeah, came through, right? Nice. Like, God came through.
Yes.
And, so I'm home. I like had a late day. I got home around like 5. That's late. I usually try to be home by like 3. And so awesome. I'm like home on my way home. My wife has like an event she has to go to, and I have to like respond to these emails, like to solidify the booking and all that. But I'm the only one like watching my daughter, and I'm like just like so conflicted. I feel so terrible. Like just like I'm like writing like 3 words, and she's like playing and like wants attention or something. And I'm like, fuck. All right, I guess this is more important. But then I'm like, but this is important too. And I'm like. It's just a fucking struggle. It is. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, like you said, I don't know. I'm always trying to do my best. There's some weeks and months where I'm like home most of the time and I don't have to work very often. And then there's some months where I'm like traveling a lot and I have to work a lot. And so it's a challenge, and just trying to be the fucking best person I can be,
which is okay, bro. But they need communication, So it's like I think as long as you're communicating with them, like, hey, dad or papa has to go, he has to go do this work, but what, I'll call you here and I'll see you here, or give them expectations. I think they're so much smarter than we think.
Dude, they're fucking geniuses.
They're so much smarter than we think, bro. And it's like you just talk to them like a human, Yeah. And like even if it breaks your heart, like man, like some days they're like, "Papa, don't go."
I know. And
I'm like, oh gosh,
dude, that's the worst.
Oh my gosh, bro. It's like it just cuts deep, bro.
It's so that's like the worst. Man.
Have you seen The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
Yeah, it's been a long time though.
Bro, there's this scene, bro, and and now that you're a father, it's gonna hit you, bro. It's like he was leaving, and his youngest daughter has.
At the end.
Yeah, kind
of. I think I did see that recently, and I fucking started crying.
I started crying.
Yeah,
bro.
I think it was like on I was traveling or something, and it was just like at the end scene, and I was like, "Papa, don't go," and she doesn't talk, and then she starts talking, and I'm like, "No." Oh my God! If my little girl said that, I would fuck. And then he's like going off to fight a war. Like it's not like we're gonna potentially die. Like when we go to work,
Yeah. So it got me, bro. It got me. Papa, don't go. Don't go. And that's the first thing she said to him.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know.
Oh God, it got me, bro. But it's. I mean, that's it, bro. Like we have been blessed to steward this child from God, you know, and it's like it's our job to guide him well. Yeah. And that's our job, that's our sole purpose. We it's very primal, we're here to procreate. Yeah.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with my wife about that, in regards to I think modern women have a false ideal of I need to be this strong, successful woman, I need to create my own business and do my own shit and da-da-da. But I think bro, there's nothing wrong with having a husband and having children. That's like having the power to procreate, to build a life, which after seeing your wife pregnant, right? It's fucking blows my mind when I'm holy fuck, there's nothing there, and then a human came out. What the hell? That's insane. Literally. So there has to be some level of core desire from a woman, regardless of what age it starts to happen, where they want to have a child in a family and be taken care of, right? And that's okay. You shouldn't be no, that's not fucking right. It's it's totally fucking fine. And my wife struggles with that because she has her own little business and does her own little thing, and she's well, I want to just be have enough business where I don't need to depend on you for shit. And I'm this is our shit. We're married. This is our shit. I couldn't have this shit without you. And so this is our success. You have the same access. We live the same life. Just because X amount of dollars in the business account, I'm well, fuck, look at my personal account. It's not fucking so hot either. So I don't know. It's just it just creates that, I think, a false ideal.
100%.
And it's the internet.
100%. I think, so I'm going back to this again, and it's, I truly believe that the devil has infiltrated our society, and has infiltrated our society. Yeah. Where you're getting all these transgender movement. Oh, yeah. You're getting this this shift of power of man, and from the women being the breadwinners and the man staying home, or and telling women that they need careers. Nothing wrong with all that, but it's taking away the mother from the situation. So because a woman is focusing on a career, she's not focusing on literally childbearing. Right. So it's taken away that. Yeah. You look at Planned Parenthood. I think it was 71 million abortions.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of babies, bro.
That's a whole generation. That's a lot of babies,
crazy. Bro. So it's you can date this back to they were sacrificing babies in the Torah, bro. And that's why they got tore up. The Philistines, they were doing this. The Philistines, they were sacrificing these babies to Baal. And putting these babies on a scorching hot iron, bro, and just letting them sizzle. That's in the Torah, bro. And God was no, and he that's what he killed them all.
Smoked them.
He smoked them, bro. He's no, that is not happening. And I think it's the same thing, bro. It says that the devil is the prince of is the ruler of this earth. So it's everything that is of this earth is actually pointing essentially to him, and we like if we are people of God, like we have to almost like turn away
Yeah,
from
because it's
everything.
an illusion, right? Like
It
everything is. Have you read this book? It's not Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Have you read it?
I've heard about it.
It's,
yeah.
I mean, I think you would enjoy it. It's a good read. I mean, it's not like Christian or anything, but it's like it's a good perspective where like it seems like Napoleon Hill kind of like embodied the devil and kind of communicated to you as the devil, and it's kind of like fucking nuts. But it like the whole premise of it's like how to outwit the devil. Like you don't have to succumb to the devil. Like you know what I mean? And that's how I look at my life. Is like why I feel like, and the devil is just like a word, right? It's like a label that people place on an energy or a situation to try to understand it and like label it. You know, that's my perspective. And so the devil, I feel like, can never get me because I don't entertain it. I don't do shit like that will entertain the devil. Like, you know what I mean? Like I never succumb to like, sure, like temptations, like whatever, like minor ones, because we're all man, right? Like it's not like we could be totally perfect. But like I don't drink, so I'm not gonna fucking drink and drive and crash and kill someone. I don't like fucking do drugs, so I'm not gonna put myself in a situation like that. Like I don't, like all I do is love and give and love and give. And so I feel like a channel of God. Like I have to be successful, and I have like God wants soldiers that are strong so that they could give them action. So like you could spread the word or however you want to say it, right? So like I have to win. Like God needs me to be as powerful as I can be because I'm a source for fucking God. Like I give and I provide opportunity and I fucking like do all this shit for him. So it's like impossible. It's like I'm not greedy. I don't take. I don't like, you know what I mean? And so it's like the devil can't get you because you're not entertaining it. So as long as you don't entertain the devil, it's like you can't. There's like a saying, my stepdad's actually Jewish too, and he like says like, I don't know where it came from, but he's like, the devil can never get you if you don't invite him into your house. So it's just like, don't let the motherfucker in the house. Like that's it. Like that's how I look at shit. Again, I don't know what I don't know, but that's just my perspective on the situation.
Yeah, for sure. It's I mean, it's a very touchy subject, you know. It's a lot, and because a lot of people have adopted these sort of rituals and traditions, thinking that that's actually good, but it's actually bad, you know. And I don't know if I want to get into it right now because it's gonna affect a lot of people, you know. But like, you know, like crystals and even doing like a ritualistic yoga session, you know, it's like calling upon the Hindu gods, so I believe that is just not of God.
I see what you're saying. I mean, so like the devil's even sneaking in when you think you're not letting him in.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's and then I think it's like Ephesians 6. It's like we're not fighting flesh and blood, but we're fighting a spiritual warfare of like principalities and it's a spiritual war in a sense. Right. We're not fighting man and man. Right. We're fighting a spiritual warfare. You know, like at the end of the day, the devil is going to lose. I think like that's for sure.
It's like written.
It is written. So like what he's trying to do, he's trying to pull everyone he can into the depths, you know, before the day of judgment will come.
Yeah.
You know? But I truly believe that you know that everyone will have a chance. You know, I don't think everyone's doomed. You know, I think that, you know, as of let's say right now, like the end of the world is happening right now. You know, I truly believe that you know the people who are of Christ right now, you know, will get up and be raptured, and then the wedding feast will happen, and then we will come down to get the remaining of the people, but. If you don't believe in Christ now, there is going to be a tribulation of times of where you have to endure, you know, and you have to endure your faith and everything like that, and then at that time you'll have a second chance, basically.
Yeah.
No,
and so it's kind of crazy. Like if you look at just like history of the world, like there's been like, you know, what extinct the dinosaurs, like a comet, and there was like a volcano. So the second coming or whatever, it doesn't have to be like, you know, Jesus comes down. It could be something like Mount Fuji explodes or some shit. All of a sudden everyone's fucked. Like not a lot of people are going to survive it. And like you said, it'll be in a spiritual way where you know, the gates open or however it's supposed to happen. And I think that I mean, again, I'm like loose with labels and, you know, I'm not super, but I think like when that moment comes, if you open your heart and you accept and you forgive, and that you will rise to like a higher vibration, which is like God or death or whatever, like, you know, so I mean, that's just kind of my understanding, and no one really knows, right, like what's after death or whatever, but like I believe that it's potentially like another dimension, right, like, and it's for your higher good, and everybody has to. What's your perspective on death? Because that's kind of interesting. We all have to endure, like, we all have to die. Everybody fucking, no one remembers. We gotta go. Everybody's gotta die.
Exactly. That's the only thing that's promised, and taxes.
Yeah, those motherfuckers are gonna get us. My tax bill is disgusting.
So death. I believe that this world is a flash. You know, I believe that this is like this compared to like this.
Literally,
you know?
and probably even smaller. It's like
So I truly believe that this is a you know, almost like a testing ground, honestly, and you know, I'm excited to die. Honestly, I'm excited to die because I know what's on the other side. You know, and he promises us eternal life with him. You know, so it's like and like, you know, talking to other people, and it's like we don't even know, like there's gonna be more colors, there's gonna be more sensations up there than we even know ever before, you know, like right now there's infrared that we can't even see.
There's like colors, you know, we can't even see.
There's certain things that we as humans can't see, you know, and we're not meant to see them yet, you know. So that's why I think, like, you know, like and I did my own share, but like psychedelics, right? Psychedelics actually puts you into that realm, right? But you're not supposed to be there yet. You know, and you're not supposed to be there yet. And so that's why there sometimes people get actually infiltrated by the devil or a demon in that space, because they have gone into a realm that they're not used to, or they're not supposed to be in there yet. You know, and so and you hear stories of people getting possessed in those states, because it's like, I got you now. You know, so it's like, so the devil just wants footholds, bro. So honestly, for me, I'm excited. I mean, like I'm excited. I don't want to say I'm excited to die, but I'm excited to die.
When
and
it's time, it's like
when it's time, it's time, and when it's my time, it's my time. But what I can do now is my goal, and now my call, as of just recently, is to share the word, wake people up. You know, like the Matrix. You know, it's to wake people up, and it's like the Matrix was written. Neo was actually it's a portrayal of Jesus, and even the writer of the Matrix said that. You know, and it's like John Connor from the Terminator was a portrayal of Jesus as well. And she wrote both of them supposedly. So I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. If you think about it, everything's around Jesus, bro. Like AD and BC, you know, like after death and before Christ, everything is revolved around Jesus. You know, when you really look into it, bro, it's like, okay, it's the devil trying to, like, hey, no, you can be your own God. You can be your own thing. You have the power to do your own thing. But it's a deception, bro. It's a deception. And until you read, until you prayed about it, and the Holy Spirit kind of like guides you into it, you'll start realizing what it is. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that a lot of people are doing right now that they don't know that is demonic. But it's like there'll come a day where it's like they'll soften up their heart a little bit, and they'll allow someone like me to talk to them about it, you know. But it's nothing wrong. I mean, obviously it is wrong, but it's like, but there's like, it's okay. It's okay. But if you want to be out of it, then let's talk about it. You know, like, and the thing at the end of the day, it's like, I'm supposed to love you. I'm supposed to love you no matter what. You know, and it's like, and if you can't, I heard this other day, the greatest form of love is truth. You know, and so it's like let's say it's like I love you as a brother, and it's like I know that I need to tell you something, like with your personal life, or something that is going to affect us, but I love you greater than our relationship. That's true love right there. You know?
Yeah, that's facts, bro. Well, bro, I mean, we've friggin' gone a little bit over an hour, but I appreciate you coming by, man. I appreciate you shedding light on the world. I think a lot of people need to hear the message and kind of need that connection now more than ever. They just need to be enlightened. Yeah, bro. Come to the light. Come to the light. But yeah, man, thank you for having me. Come by the gym, bro. Come by the gym, check me out. Let's get you on the podcast on there. Let's freaking go. Yeah, bro. Where can the people find you? Yeah, so Smashr Iron Fitness is where you can find me. My personal handle is Carlo_Smashr. And yeah. Let's freaking go. Let's go. Woo!